Hello and welcome back to the series where I rank all of Ash's battles. We finished the gym battles, we finished the frontier and kahuna battles, so now it's time to rank the league battles from each of the 7 regions, starting today with Kanto. Be sure to check out all the other rankings in the playlist, and of course like the video if you want to see me rank Ash's Johto League battles as well, and I hope you enjoy. Coming in number 5 is Ash versus, well, I don't really know his name, and I don't think anyone does. It's an unnamed trainer. After Ash's fantastic first round battle, we went straight into the second episode of the league, and Ash was battling on a rock type field. We didn't even get the name of the trainer, so it really wasn't a big battle. It only lasted a few minutes, with Ash's Squirtle taking down the trainer's Nidorino with a quick water gun, followed by a Skull Bash. There really isn't much to say about the battle itself. We only saw the last matchup. It was a 3-on-3 battle, but the episode begun right at the end when both trainers just had one Pokemon left, which was disappointing. I would rather have seen the whole battle, but it's still not really a big deal. Coming in number 4 is Ash versus Richie. Ash's penultimate battle against one of his best friends, Richie. Someone he had just met at the league. They shared such a bond and were so similar, and they had to face each other. It was bound to be one big spectacular battle. How wrong we were. So the episode starts off with Team Rocket once again being annoying. They couldn't stick with just one episode to annoy us, they had to give us 2 in a row. This took up to 15 minutes of the episode, and they also managed to tire Ash, Pikachu and also his Pidgeotto out, so they'd already put Ash at a disadvantage before the battle already begun. But if you look past this, even the battle itself is a complete mess. It's like the writers forgot how battles worked. This was like very early episode battling, such as the battle between Ash and Gazelle, where the trainers aren't really calling out attacks. It's just kind of a mess. So it starts off with Squirtle versus Butterfree, and no one is yelling out attacks. The Pokemon are just doing what they want until eventually Richie yells out Sleep Powder, which puts Squirtle to sleep, and apparently that means it's unable to battle, which is problem number 2. There shouldn't be a knockout for Squirtle when it's just sleeping. We've seen recently Rowlet has been sleeping and he didn't get called as knocked out. Pikachu comes out once again, and Ash doesn't even give it a single command. It just grabs hold of Butterfree and thunderbolts it to finish it off. And then Pikachu gets knocked out by Charmander because it was too tired after the Team Rocket shenanigans. So Ash brings out Charizard despite it not being trained. We get a few flashbacks of Ash debating whether to do it, and I don't really have a problem with this. It's his first league. He thinks big crowd, big show, Charizard is going to want to perform. He trusted it and it didn't give Ash anything back. It was a good example of how much Ash has to learn still and grow, so I thought it was fine that Ash picked Charizard. The problem begins when Charizard uses Flamethrower on Richie's Charmander. It runs away and gets deemed unable to battle by the ref despite not even being knocked out, similar to the Squirtle situation. Maybe it can be classed as a forfeit, but it still could have been done a lot better. And then the final battle is the famous moment where Charizard refuses to battle and gets deemed unable to battle, which was fine. I don't really have any problems with it. Ash made the biggest mistake of his career right there, and he learnt from it. It was his first league, he didn't have many other options other than Charizard, so he took the L. I think this would have been way more earned if Ash and Richie had a good battle before this happened, and if Team Rocket didn't slow Ash down and tire out his Pokemon. It could have felt way more earned of a situation, and we wouldn't feel so empty inside, having witnessed one of the worst endings to Ash's league runs. So overall I would put this over the previous pick because that one was just a one-on-one. We didn't see most of the battle, so I couldn't put it bottom, although I was really tempted. This battle was really rushed and it should have got a whole episode of development. It's a shame we never got another battle between Ash and Richie to make up for it, but this battle comes in at number 4. Coming in number 3 is Ash versus Pete Pebbleman. This battle was solid. Again, just like the Rock Battlefield, this one started midway through when Ash and the opposition both had just 2 Pokemon left. At least we got to see a little bit more of this battle. Ash's Kingler once again was in battle, putting in some nice work, hammering away at Cloyster's shell, and it kept going until it was unable to battle, despite it protecting itself, which shows the sheer power that Cloyster has. The final matchup was Arcanine versus Pikachu. I actually love this little matchup. Pete had Arcanine burn the whole ice battlefield, so that Pikachu just had a tiny bit of ice to stand on, to stop its speed and to stop it from running around. But he actually completely messed himself up here as he left Arcanine also with barely any floor to stand on. So all Pikachu had to do was get in the water, and then Arcanine being weak to water and surrounded by it was done for. I do have a slight problem with how much Brock and Misty helped Ash in this battle. It seemed very unfair. They firstly told him to keep hammering at Cloyster's shell as he was about to stop, And then secondly, they told him that Pikachu should jump in the water and finish Arcanine off. It seemed like Ash barely thought it for himself in this battle, compared to the Mandy battle where he was coming up with some nice strategies. This was disappointing, but it was Ash's first league, so it can be forgiven. Coming in second place is Ash versus Jeanette Fisher. After Gary gets knocked out in the 4th round of the Indigo League, it was a massive shock for Ash, adding even more pressure on him to go even further. His 4th round matchup was against a trainer called Jeanette Fisher, who was quite respected and had a lot of fans. The battle took place on the grass battlefield and was another 3-on-3. I actually remember this battle being a little bit better than it was this time around. It was still a solid battle, but I expected a little bit more. Ash starts out with his Bulbasaur, which suits the grassy battlefield perfectly, and Jeanette brings out her Beedrill. Bulbasaur struggled with Beedrill's Twin Needle, coming at it quickly with its speed, but Ash came up with a nice choice of moves, having it use Leech Seed, which somehow defeated Beedrill with just one hit after a tackle attack as well. Next up came Jeanette's Scyther, which confused Ash with Double Team. Then Ash says, wait, I'll just hit all 3 of them with Vine Whip. This seemed pretty lazy, and I feel like he could have thought of that way before, but still Bulbasaur came out on top, taking it down with a single Vine Whip. Up until this point, Jeanette's Pokemon seemed really weak. Her last Pokemon was when everything changed. It was a Bellsprout. I have a few problems with how overpowered this thing was, completely dodging every attack just because it has a skinny, flexible body, and also its lightning rod feet seemed a little far-fetched. But that aside, the rest of the battle was decent. Much like another battle in the league, Ash brings out a Pokemon he's never battled with before, being Muck. It was the perfect choice really. Razor Leaf did nothing to Muck, his giant flubber body just absorbed everything that got thrown at him, and Ash had a smart decision by making Muck use Body Slam just to completely cover up Bellsprout and rendering it unable to battle. It was a good way to end the battle, but I just feel like this battle could have been showing off way more of Jeanette's Pokemon, like Scyther and Beedrill, but they made them look really weak and went for the comedic option of having Ash confused about how a supposedly weak Pokemon Bellsprout is doing so much damage to his team. But it was still an enjoyable battle. It was also nice to see Misty and Brock weren't there coaching him on every decision like they were in the previous battles. Coming in first place is Ash versus Mandy. Ash's first ever Pokemon League battle against quite a famous trainer called Mandy. This battle was what started it all off and gave Ash the courage and confidence to keep going in this league, as he was quite nervous before. Ash was really OP in this battle. He came up with quick strategies and combos to counter every single play that Mandy tried. Ash used his Krabby in battle for the first time ever, just like Muck, and everyone including me was shocked when I first saw this, but Ash handled it perfectly, taking down Executor with a Vice Grip and then a Stomp, which was the first battle it ever won, and then the battle made him to evolve straight afterwards. After evolving into Kingler, it learnt some new moves such as Hyper Beam, which helped Ash out even more. Mandy tried to overcome Kingler's strength with Seadra's speed, but it wasn't enough as Kingler managed to hit it with a Bubble Beam and then finish it off mid-air with a Crab Hammer. And then finally came out Golbat, and it was a very easy victory for Ash, pretty much taking it down with one Hyper Beam. Mandy really got what he deserved, being cocky towards Ash and then being swept 3-0 by a Pokemon that's never even battled before. It was such an enjoyable first league battle to watch, and this is the battle that made me love Ash's Kingler. It's just a real shame we haven't seen much of it since. Overall, this was a fantastic battle, and that's why I believe it is the best battle at the Indigo League. So that was my ranking of all of Ash's Kanto League battles from worst to best. Please let me know in the comments what your ranking would be. Would you have Mandy as first place like I did? Let out your frustration about the Richie battle as well. Like the video if you want to see me rank Ash's Johto League battles, like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and see you next time.